not using this.
Welcome to the Meeple People podcast. I'm Anthony,
I'm Rob.
and today we have two new Meeples joining us.
They're peoples.
They're peoples. They're the people's Meeples.
Jesus
The
Christ.
Meeples peoples. And they have...
That's a wrap. They're never meeting them now.
No, that's it. It's over. Cut it. But no, they have joined the Meeple People. To my left, we have Matt. Say hi, Matt.
Hello, everyone.
And to Rob's right,
My right, we have Peter.
Hi, I'm Pete. I'm now a Meeple person.
Meeple person.
but anyway, they have joined the ranks of the Meeple People, and they will be helping out with social media and video. Matt is going to basically
I'll be running the social media and more of the business side of the Meeple People.
and
Take
Pete,
care of business.
he's going to be the business
there.
man.
TCB.
And then Pete is going to be handy dandy cameraman.
Yeah.
Yep, because they need one. They haven't had one.
We only have one man with steady hands, and that's Rob, and he's always in front of the camera. So
Yeah, it's really strange when I have to be behind the camera and in front of the camera.
in
at
the same video.
time.
Putting in the overtime.
So we need our team needs a big man.
Pete
have
is
the big
also
group.
the big man in the
Yeah.
group now. I am no longer the big man in the group.
You were just the heavy man.
Pete,
I was
yeah.
the big man.
You were the tall man.
Yeah.
I was the heavy man. And basically, Pete
Pete's
is
replaced
just the
both of
size
us,
of Rob
yeah.
and I combined.
Just fused into one, you know?
He's our
Did the
big
fusion
show.
dance.
But yep, they have
He's literally the size
on.
of Creature from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Or Bogus Journey.
essentially, yes.
Yeah.
That's a very good reference. So, we have a few things to talk about today. We have the East Coast Rumble, which was a Warhammer Champions event that we
streamed
streamed out of Toy Wiz in Nanuet, New York. Pretty well-known store.
hobby shop.
Yeah, I believe Reed Duke used to play Magical Gatherings
Mm-hmm.
at Toy Wiz. A few others from the... Well, because we're in like
Well,
a
I was gonna say
very
a decent amount of
dense
people in the
Magic the
region.
Gathering area when
Yeah.
it comes to players.
The
We have a
most-
lot of
you could
pro
say the
players
most
in the
dense.
area. Yeah. What else do we have to talk about? We have
Keyforge.
we're going to talk about Keyforge because the hype is so real with
And
Keyforge
I
right
think
now.
all of us here either have played it or want to play it
Yeah.
or
I've
active.
played about 7-8 matches already, and it's incredibly fun and super easy to pick up. I'm just getting into gaming, and I love this game.
The hype is very real.
The hype is so real with Keyforge. We're going to talk a bit more about Warhammer Champions outside of the East Coast Rumble. We're going to talk about some of the spoilers that we revealed on our stream. Then we're going to talk about PAX, which is next week, and then we're going to talk about a couple games that we've been interested in.
that we've either played recently
Or have kickstarted.
Yeah.
So, East Coast Rumble. Big success for both Warhammer Champions and for us as
As a streaming outlet. I
as
guess.
content
Yeah.
creators. Big victory for us, I should say. Had a lot of viewers, had fun doing commentary, had fun judging the event. The spoilers that we had were really awesome, and thank you to PlayFusion for allowing us to get some early access and look at these cards and expose them to
We also had fun using
the
our
masses.
new equipment. that
Yeah, we had a lot of new equipment. We had our new headsets, new overhead.
But to get into the game,
Yeah, to get into the game, we're going to talk about the 4 cards that we spoiled. If you haven't seen them yet, you can go on to warhammerchampions.com, and there's a Onslaught card reveal. Onslaught being the name of the next set in Warhammer Champions.
it's just like any other.
It's almost like it's like
TCG.
it's like how Mythic Spoiler always has the cards lined up. The cool thing about this, it shows who and or where
they got spoiled.
they got spoiled from. So it says like revealed by Peach State Hobby, and then for ours it says revealed by
East Coast Rumble.
revealed by East Coast Rumble. I don't understand by, but it should say at East Coast Rumble or by the Meeple People. Either way.
But they did a combo.
They did a combo.
By
They did
the
both
East Coast Rumble.
by the event.
That's us.
Technically, they're not wrong, but
Yeah.
So, first card we're going to talk about is Ancient Skeletons. Ancient Skeletons is a unit for death. They are risen units. They also have stacking. They have three corners, X, 2, and 3. And the card reads, damage. Every corner does damage to your opponent. And when this unit is removed, only remove the top card of the stack.
Which is good.
Which is very good because say if someone goes to Deadly Chop or Devour that unit, you literally just remove the skeletons, and any cards that were under it stay.
Say another Ancient Skeletons.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they recently they're making a change to the app. They're making a change to the app to see how it works, how they do like a lot of playtesting with the app, that you can only stack on top of characters that have stacking, which makes a lot of sense because when we first started playing the game,
you could stack on anything.
We thought that, but we also thought like, we thought you can only stack on cards with stacking because that makes sense.
That's what we originally thought, and then it turned out you could stack on whatever.
And now they're basically giving us the way we thought it was, which is great.
It's a fix. Believe us. Believe us.
Another card.
Don't hate me. Matt hates me already.
I've always hated you. Always.
Harsh.
No real reason.
Pete's hated me since middle school. No, he just hasn't said anything. His hatred for me grows intensely like the sun.
He has a journal of how always he wants to kill you. Each day just grows.
Yeah.
15 journals.
Date by date by date.
Like Pete wrote 1,000 Ways to Die in the West. It's just all me. That's
just Rob in different scenarios.
Yeah, it's just me.
Speaking of things ceasing to work.
You can't even speak.
Speaking of things ceasing to work, we have another spoiled card we did was Isharon Tidecaster, which is an elf champion wizard for the order. It's not unique, so you can run 2. 0 health modifier, costs 7 points. Corners are spell ability, and then health.
And it's an elf.
It's an elf.
An elf.
And while this champion controls a spell, the highlighted champion cannot use Heroic Axe. Which is basically saying, F you, Gordrak.
Yeah.
You can't do your shiesty
stuff
stuff
down
anymore.
The shiesty destruction decks that
are
it's just overtaking everything.
They're overpowering the current meta, and we're going to talk about that, but let's do these last 2 spoilers really quick before
Pete's happy sad about it because Pete's destruction at heart.
Always works. It's just
always works.
a thing. You always got to go for the wasp.
All the greenskins.
He's like, I love him, and I love that they're winning, but I wish it were more fair winning.
Yep. That's how we all feel, actually, because they are great. They are a really fun faction to play as, but man, toxic. They're toxic right now.
They're the best to mimic in real life.
Exactly.
So,
just being a bunch of babbling idiots running around.
And that's us. And speaking of destruction, the next card we spoiled was a destruction champion. Foul Butcher. He's an ogre, which is a new class being added to the game for this set. He's a wizard. His corners are damage, health, damage, spell. 0 health modifier, cost 8 points. When a highlighted unit is exhausted, gain 1 health, and it is the unit in front of him. Same thing with Isharon Tidecaster. The champion in front of it cannot use the Heroic Axe.
Just affecting its single lane.
I personally think this is a very, I want to say like lackluster. It's just like okay.
Based on what we know of the current set, it seems like it's just okay.
Yeah, it's nothing.
I don't know. I mean, it could be the fact that he's an ogre is like really very, very relevant.
It could be a thing. But we don't know yet. Yeah. We got to wait for the set to come out.
So. Yeah, as a standard, just a set, like standalone piece, it's just not enough. It feels like you need something to pair with it.
Yeah, looking at it, we're just like, oh, all right. And that's about it.
Yeah. Not mad, not happy.
Just, okay. If I were playing Sealed and I pulled one, I'd probably play it. Other than that...
better than a generic whatever. Champion, yeah.
And the final card that we spoiled was Cleansing Brooch, which is a neutral blessing, they are new to this set.
That's the big deal.
It is also a realm spell, which is a new mechanic to the set. Basically, there's 2 spells. There's 2 realms, the Realm of Fire and the Realm of Life. And you can only use one realm in your deck. So you can only have Realm of Fire cards or Realm of Life cards. You cannot mix and match.
And all realm cards are neutral.
Yes, which is awesome because everyone, and it lets everyone use them.
But you do have to limit yourself to one of the two realms.
Yes. And Cleansing Brooch is a blessing, and it just says gain 7 health. Very simple, very effective.
Very neutral.
Very
safe.
neutral, very safe, and very good for a meta which is literally
very aggro.
Very aggro. Only aggro, we could actually say.
If 9 out of 10 decks are destruction, 9 out of 10 decks are aggro, it turns out. If 1 out of 10 decks is chaos, that means 10 out of 10 decks are aggro.
Mm-hmm. That being said, at the East Coast Rumble, there were a lot of destruction players. I would say almost half the field was destruction, and our top 4 were destruction, and death.
The undead.
We had a rogue death player playing one of the coolest decks I've ever seen, and the results of the East Coast Rumble are going to be up on the Warhammer Champions website, hopefully sometime this week.
And if I remember, the last match before the top match was Destruction versus Order.
It was Destruction versus Order. We had an
Order player did go far. He went all the way up to the top.
Playing Celestian Prime. Celestian Prime's the best.
Prime is my boy.
Love Celestian Prime.
He knows about that Prime time.
Probably the least played of the big 4 champions, unfortunately, but man,
he's just so big. He doesn't get enough love. He just kind of has to rule the board by himself. And
he needs better pairings.
He needs better pairings because of how large his point value is.
He's large and in charge, and he measures up himself.
He has a very large point value, and his heroic act is very lackluster in a meta where it's nothing but swinging with creatures,
really
swinging with units, all units, nothing else.
His ability is probably the most powerful of all of the abilities.
If you choose, because
if you have cards that allow you to slow the game down.
Exactly, because say it's on your turn and you have nothing to do, you can do his ability first, then draw. Exactly. So you can look at the top 2, take the one you want, put the other one on the bottom, and then just draw another card.
You can use it and then play it, which is a big deal.
Great card. So, speaking of the new set is a very small set. It's about half the size of set 1, which I think is good.
I mean, it's like in Magic terms.
Yeah.
There's big set, small set. This is small. The first set is normally a big set. The next 1 or 2 sets are.
It's
small
like fillers.
Sets.
It's almost like a filler set. They
fill in pieces to the
puzzle
main set.
Yeah, they fill in pieces to the puzzle that is the main set, because the main set obviously, and Play Fusion knows there's a big issue when it comes to destruction. Destruction's the biggest issue in this game right now, and I believe that this set as well as some possible changes, if they do make changes to certain cards,
changes.
If they make that stacking change a real thing, it's going to be great.
That would hamper destruction massively.
If they do decide to,
and it would make undead better.
I know they're thinking about,
which it needs.
I know they're thinking about banning cards. I think they're thinking about banning cards. Some cards, I think
it might be too soon for that.
I think some cards need to be errated, not banned. Like Gordrak's point value, I think he's undervalued because of how insane his heroic act is. I think he should be like a 15-point champion, to be honest.
But what is he? He's 12?
I believe he's 12.
He's 12, I think.
I believe he's 12, which is honestly a little ridiculous, because if he's 12, he costs less than Archaon, and that's not okay.
Well, Archaon's the second most expensive, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
I think Prime is 12.
Gordrak is 12. Yeah. I think Gordrak should be 15.
It's possible. Well, a lot of these champions have to do with the champions they can be paired with. The reason that Gosh isn't seen the most crazy play of all time is because he hasn't, his point value is so high, and he doesn't have like the best supporting small champions.
Well, the reason why, here's the thing. It's not even the reason that Gordrak's ability is the reason why it should be more, but it's also the fact that if he, at 13, you can pair him with Warboss Recruiter, and then with just 2 1-point guys, which is nuts.
Exactly,
because
that's what I mean. His ability to be paired, their point value enables him to be paired with certain champions. Everybody's just talking about Celeste Prime. If his point value cuts off a lot of the good, other champions, whereas Gordrak's doesn't. Gordrak's pairs freakishly well with another freakishly good champion.
Yeah, and Celestian Prime's point value
is 12. Also.
Is 12 as well, but I think he's overpriced. Overvalued.
It's the problem of Order just doesn't have many good low-cost champions. Even the base ones, you kind of want something better.
Lord Reliquor is 6 points. Aspect of the Sea is 11.
Yeah.
But Aspect of the Sea is ridiculous.
Crazy.
So
Yeah. They didn't want to make them unique, so like we're gonna make it 11, so you still can't play 2 of them.
Yeah. Like I think Lotan's probably my favorite order champion.
And he's like 0.5 points.
Because I like his 3 points, and I love Lotan because
Exactly,
man, I
0.5
am making Elf Tribal a thing as soon as the set comes out.
Will anybody ever address how Warhammer just takes fantasy names and they add letters to them and say that they're like new things?
Oh, like Auric. Well, the reason why Auric, because the reason why they did that is because obviously Orcs are a Tolkien thing.
Well, I'm saying like
Elves.
Elves. Like, okay, they're elves and ogres, boys. That's
Ogres, not ogre. Ogres.
Yeah, exactly. So
changing
it's
that
their own
single
world,
syllable.
Rob. It's their own world.
nobody even pronounces those letters. Nobody.
No,
goes,
we always say
elves.
No,
Nobody
no one says
that.
it. We just say elf and
Elves,
ogre, no matter
yeah.
what.
Freaking bastards. That's all I gotta say.
Whatever. It's fine.
Is
It's a
anybody ever
game
gonna
we
address
all
this
love.
thing?
We all play it except for Matt and Dan, and it's okay.
Matt's new. Maybe someday. Probably not.
Well, Matt is keen on Keyforge, which we're going to get into in just a second. Just want to go back to the East Coast Rumble. Once again, huge success, and just want to say like a quick thank you to PlayFusion for providing
Everything.
so much prize support.
Yeah.
We had about 16 boxes of prize support for the weekend.
If you were in that tournament, Pete, you would have got a free deck. It's basically you just been like, I don't have you. There was someone that showed up without a deck, and they were just here's a deck, and they just
yeah
like,
we were
oh,
yeah there was the
fantastic.
community for this game is incredible.
They're just really trying to push new players.
Exactly. Someone showed up, not like knowing of the game, but just wanted to learn how the game played, and the player base built him Destruction.
Yeah, the gore.
Because they're like, well, you're new
deck.
to the game, so this is going to be the easiest thing for you to play anyway. And they built him Gordrak, and he entered the event right then and there.
By the end of the
having...
day, he had literally every card on the deck except for a single Gordrak, which he got later on when they were talking about it on stream.
We were talking about it on when we were on stream, he pulled it.
Yeah. So he was given the whole rest of the deck. It's pretty. That's pretty crazy.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. So the first place, Peter, the
first place
Peter won, not Pete. Peter won the
first
East
place.
Coast Rumble, and first place got 5 boxes and a Saturday pass for PAX Unplugged and entry into the pitched battle event at PAX Unplugged. And entrance for the East Coast Rumble was only $10.
Wow.
PlayFusion is doing really big things.
People just gotta come out.
Yeah, just come out. Do not be afraid to try new things. Just treat it like it's freshman year in college again. Just try new things.
Game's good. Game's good.
I mean, what I've learned from even though just like not playing Warhammer, pick up Keyforge. I never played any game. Last time I played a card game was Magic when I was probably mid high school.
And you're like 1,000 years
Yeah.
old, so that was like before it was
Probably
even
when it first-
conceived as a game.
literally when it first came out. But yeah, I picked up Keyforge the day I went with Monk and Rob, and I had no idea what I was doing. And everyone there helped me out. Played, lost my first 2 matches, but after that, I did pretty good. I mean, I was a big fan of the game, and the community there is amazing.
Yeah,
like
everyone's
there to help you out and teach you, and they don't mind asking 100 questions.
Yeah, the best part about obviously Keyforge and Warhammer Champions is the community for both games are outstanding, and that
good
is
gamers.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that every like competitive card game needs is a solid community, because without that community, people are just not going to show up. People are not going to be interested in any events.
Fade.
It's going to just fade out like a picture in Back to the Future.
That's what kills games. Or the company just decides one day arbitrarily they don't want to print anymore.
Yep, and that's happened to one game that I love, near and dear to my heart.
That or companies get into fights and they break their contracts.
Yep, but let's
like Conquest.
Like Conquest. Conquest was a great game. Kaijudo was a great game.
Never forgetting.
Oh, Kaijudo. I miss you. All right, on to the new game.
Dragoborn.
Dragoborn was so good, and then just didn't pick up.
It just nobody like ever went to any of the events.
But here's the thing. The thing.
Yeah, the big regional event in New York. There's what, 5 people?
There was about 10 people. The East Coast Rumble had more. The East Coast Rumble, which was just a random local event funded by PlayFusion, had more people at it than a regional world qualifier for Dragonborn. We're just going to leave it at that. The hype for Warhammer Champions is real, and you need to get on that train as fast as you can.
So can I ask why that was so small compared to
Because the company that put out Dragonborn, which is Bushiroad, they already have three games.
Two big ones.
Two big ones, one not so big, and they wanted to make a game that would appeal to the American market.
But without just staying in the American market.
Yeah.
So they really put it out, but didn't really put any promos or anything out for it.
Well, there are promos for it because it's done by Bushiroad, so Bushiroad owns New Japan Pro Wrestling, and one of the promos had Kenny Omega on it, which I think was awesome.
Pretty cool, yeah.
But it didn't help the game because they just basically said, "Oh, look, here's a card with Kenny," and it's literally just a card with Kenny Omega on it. It was.
They made bad business decisions. Like they had promos printed with no text on them, which normally, like, if you were to buy a Magic card with no text, people know. It's
a promo.
If it's a full art card with no text,
full art, it's crazy.
You can use that card as long as you know what that card does. And if you're at an event and someone can call a judge, and they can
get
ask
the
you
text for the card, and
exactly.
they can show them, like, this is the card text for that card.
Yeah, so they were giving out promos at Gen Con that had no text on them, and we're like, wow, that's really cool. And then they say, but you can't use them in sanctioned events.
If you do, they have no text.
It's really a pointless card.
It's pointless.
Yeah.
Literally pointless because it has no text. You can't.
And
use
if you played a card with no text outside of an event, let's say we played, like, there was a yellow dragon, I forget what its name was.
You have to go in the word of that person, essentially.
Well, not even that. If we played it according to them, that card had no text on it. So we just played a big yellow dragon with no text.
Yeah, just it had its power and toughness, but it had no abilities because the text wasn't on the card.
And we're like, but this is the same card as that. And they're like, yeah, but without the text, it has no. Well, then why'd you print this card? I don't understand. So it's weird decisions like that. Yeah. That's just an example of
it
one.
It really sounds like the Nintendo of card gaming. Like, they do a lot of cool stuff, but
it's a good way of
the
putting
stuff
it.
they don't.
A lot of cool stuff
they do, but it doesn't really make
casual.
sense.
Yeah.
And speaking of a casual game, extremely casual game that's probably going to end up being really competitive for some reason.
It already is really competitive. $2,000 Horseman deck.
Yeah, Horseman decks all over eBay for no reason at all because the Horsemen aren't that good. It's just really cool to look at. Keyforge. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what Keyforge is a card game made by God himself, a.k.a. Richard Garfield.
Yep.
Where every single deck...
Richard Garfield is the creator of Magic the Gathering.
And if you don't know that, I'm sorry for whatever life you're living, but...
Well, Matt didn't know that until recently.
Well, sorry for the life that Matt's living. But
he's not wrong.
In Keyforge, every deck is unique. I have one of my many Keyforge decks in my hands right now. You can hear it right here.
Wow, astonishing.
And
those were cards.
Every deck in Keyforge is different, which is unheard of right now in the land of competitive card games. And it's just ridiculous.
So all deck names and the card art on the back is unique to each deck. Like, you'll never get that anywhere else.
Yep. If you every deck you own, you are the only person in the world that owns that deck.
Period.
Yeah.
Some of the names
make no sense whatsoever, and some of them are the funniest things.
Some of them are really funny. Some of them are ungodly offensive, such as Titan Flayer, the Farmer of Racism.
The greatest name ever, by the way.
The only thing about that game
or the Emperor that pays for boys.
Yes.
The one thing about this, though, like, if you get a name, when you scan it in, if it gets flagged, they'll create a Keyforge will send you a brand new deck.
Yeah, Fantasy Flight Games will send you a new deck if you get one that's deemed.
You can't use it in tournaments, so if you get it,
you can keep it.
One.
That being said, if I
ever get a deck that's flagged, I'm not sending it. I'm just letting you know. I'm gonna have a collection of those.
If anyone out there listening to this has a flagged deck that they don't want and are willing to part ways with it, please email us at info@themeeplepeople.net, and we will work on something and find a way to acquire that deck from you, because we are building a collection of flagged decks right now.
And if you don't want to send it to us, at least send us a picture of that deck so we could feature it on our page.
Yeah, we would love to feature all the flagged decks. If you have flagged decks, just send pictures of them our way, or send us the deck itself. So, like I said, Titan Flayer, the Farmer of Racism, flagged. The Emperor that pays for boys, flagged. There's a lot of them out there. If you go on the Keyforge Facebook group, it's just
they're
they're all over the
popping up.
place, and it's wonderful.
They're great.
Tell you what, I'll run a contest right now. Send us a picture of your flag deck with proof that it's you, not one you just pulled off the internet, and we'll have a contest. We'll vote on the funniest one. Whoever has the funniest one, I'll buy you a new deck.
Your Keyforge deck.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, that's a really good idea. So that being said, we will have a contest page made
for funniest
for you to
funniest
enter.
flag deck.
Submit your funny, crazy deck.
Or
Again,
just
it's
deck
only
in general, not even flagged. Not even flagged.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
like-
Yeah,
If
I like
it's
that
got
more.
a non-flag name that's still ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's
If
fine.
you think that the name of one of your Keyforge decks is the funniest deck name you've ever seen, send us a picture of it.
With you holding it, so we have proof that it's
Well, no.
not just all. No, because anyone could just send anything off they found off the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that-
true. Well, timestamp it.
Yeah.
Timestamp it.
Some type of like collection stamp or something.
Yeah.
So we know it's
Send us the deck. Post it. Message it to us on Facebook. Email it to us, and we'll do a contest. And you know what? What day is it? Today's the 20th, right? We're recording this on.
No.
Yes.
Yes, today
Is it
is
the
the
20th?
20th. You know what? We're gonna
Jeez
run
Louise.
this. We're gonna run this for a week. Actually, you know what? We'll run it
No,
for
it's Thanksgiving. You gotta
I
go
say
right
after
now.
PAX.
after
Past
PAX.
holidays.
After PAX, December 3rd. You have until December 3rd to send us your funniest Keyforge decks, and we're gonna pick one, and we will send you. You know what? We're gonna
No,
up it.
are we gonna pick one? No, we'll just put it up.
Huh?
We'll just put it up. We'll put up a poll.
Yeah, we'll put up a poll after December 3rd. We're gonna put up a poll. Send us all your decks. We're gonna pick 5. We're gonna pick 5 of all the
we have
decks
to
that you
narrow it
send us.
down. If you send us hundreds of decks, we're not gonna
Yeah.
be like, here's hundreds of decks. Whoa.
We're gonna pick 5 of all the decks that you send us. After we pick our 5, we're gonna put up a poll. We're gonna post it on all the Keyforge pages. We're gonna post on Reddit, Facebook, wherever our own Facebook, everywhere.
Scott's probably
winner-
got some good ones.
The winner of the poll will receive 2 Keyforge decks, and on top of that, we will buy you the playmat of your choice. Not the 2-player mat, because we don't like you that much. But
one of the Keyforge mats.
but one of the faction mats, we will buy you. We will send you a faction mat and two sealed Keyforge decks. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think I'll agree to that.
We just gave away a booster box of Warhammer Champions over the weekend
Yes.
too, which I actually have to ship.
Yeah,
We're going to ship out after Thanksgiving. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So-
a contest. We're going to post all the details for it on Facebook.
Don't say we don't like you.
We do
I mean,
like you.
We don't like you, but we also do like you.
So like, right now we go off one of mine. It's the equivalent of WD-40. It's called the charlatan that massacres Rust.
WD-40 the deck.
Massacre and Rust every day.
Yeah.
I have a few funny ones.
Mine's not funny. Mine's just the most thematic thing ever.
Well, your deck is literally just you.
It's a custom deck. It's the Rob deck.
Just built for you.
Oh yeah.
Essentially, what's the name of it again?
Let's pull it out, boys.
It's just.
Oh, I have one for me.
Have it on me at all times.
I have the Hospitable Monk of Denvern.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Mine is Agritom, the Wizard of Smog.
So it's essentially 3 Lord of the Rings references in one card name and one deck name. My two favorite decks are right next to each other. We have the Fanatic that believes in mammoths, which I think is incredible. And then we have one that just sounds like a Spanish porn star.
I like your base deck.
Oh, the Steven Teacher of the Vigorous Bazaar.
Just because it's Steven.
My favorite one, though,
Steven.
is hands down Fernando Neurosis Balduque.
What on earth?
Director Magpie Ernesto is pretty good, too. And Steven Teacher of the... there's Steven Teacher of the Vigorous... I have one with, like,
Vigorous Bazaar.
outdoors in it. Wilhelmina, the Dismal Tunnel Ghost Rider. Here, Workman of Outdoor Splendor. No, Workman of Open Door School. I don't know why I said Outdoor Splendor.
I don't know. Outdoor Splendor sounds a lot
Or
better.
Ying, the Dusty Plant Tyrant.
Dusty.
Or Hangeline Vedius Ventus
I want to
Stormcaller.
know, is Ying dusty or does he collect dusty plants?
No, it's Ying, comma space, Dusty Plant Tyrant.
Oh,
So
he's
he's
a
collecting
tyrant of
dusty-
plants.
Yes.
Man,
But getting back to like more about the specifics of the game.
But what about Hunchka Kelly, the attractive and talented? I don't know, what are you gonna do? Or what about Romulus U Amachi, the mighty? Or or
he's going in a tunnel, boys and girls.
Anna Zar Raticat Ratcatcher.
Raticat.
Was that even words?
Yeah, apparently.
But you go in a specific game. The whole thing's pretty much like like most card games. There's different factions. In this game, there's 7 factions: Brobnar, Logos, Shadows, Sanctum, Mars, Dis, and Untamed. I mean,
every deck's got 3 of them.
Every deck has 3. There's 37 cards in each pack, but really 36 playable.
37, because you have your one faction card where it has your deck list on the back of it and a QR code for you to scan into the companion app, which is going to be used for tournaments.
That way you can register your deck just with an app. It's so easy.
But yeah, to pick up the game is incredibly easy. It's not. I mean, the mechanics of it. Once you get playing, you know it. That's it. It's no.
It's very streamlined.
Yeah,
it's very streamlined. There might be like a little bit of like hiccups here and there when you first start playing the game, but very straightforward.
I think even people that haven't played it kind of have an idea of like what it is after in the game. Like Pete, you kind of know about it, right?
Vaguely.
Vaguely
from what everybody's just like hinting about.
I vaguely know. Yeah, he's lying.
He's gonna learn as soon as this podcast is over. Because as soon as we're not recording, we're gonna jam so many games at Keyforge tonight. It's not even funny.
I just love the idea that everybody has their own personal deck,
Yep.
and it's a very nice price point of like only I think $15, right?
$10.
$10.
Yeah,
Right,
and a starter pack.
The starter deck is, I think the starter is $35.
Yeah, and you get 2 playable decks.
Yeah,
two learner decks.
Yeah, 2 sealed decks, 2 learner decks, and then all the tokens you need for the game.
Yeah. And the thing about this is, unlike some games where like Magic, Warhammer, what have you, those are more deck building games. So essentially, if you have more money, the better you could be, or the more you play. Well, this is just you get your deck and that's it. You can't add on to it. You can't subtract from it.
There's
it's
no
all
$800 cards.
The cards technically have no value, but the deck itself might gain value over time because they're going to because you can register your decks, and when you go to tournaments, you punch in your win-loss record with every deck. And based on that, they can handicap it by giving your deck chains, which is a mechanic in the game that literally handicaps the decks, which is a nice way of keeping everything balanced. And then
so if Matt starts rolling over people,
he might have a ton of chains.
Put them chains on.
Also, if your deck is performing well, you might be able to sell it on a secondary market. You can be like, look at the record I have with this deck. It's very, very good. Maybe you might want to buy it. And maybe trade decks. You can trade decks. Forget about trading cards. Trade full decks now.
Yeah, because you can't trade cards with this. Like the one thing about this, the one con I could say for now, just playing now, if you lose one card, that deck is shot. You can't replace it. It's just completely shot because that card is unique to that deck. So without it, you can't play.
And even if you try to get another copy of that card from another deck, the card back is going to be different, and there's the name of the deck that it's in on the front-facing part of the card.
And if you try to contact Fantasy Flight, they actually cannot print your card again.
No.
Because all put through an algorithm, essentially, when it's printed.
Yeah, there's about 400 trillion decks in the world right now, and I don't think more than like a couple million people are going to play this game, and unless they all want to own 1 million decks each, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, when was that released? This past Saturday, right?
It was released.
Technically
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago,
It was
and
last week.
Yeah, I've already bought 7 decks.
Yeah, so for a week.
Yeah, I think I own 18 already.
18? I thought you bought 6 or something like that.
No, I think it's 18 decks.
Let
me check the app again.
I own 4.
Wow.
I have 18 decks. Yeah.
Wow. But
dang.
It's still
essentially the whole point of the game.
Only played 2 of them.
Is to collect amber. You get 6. Once you get 6 amber, you can forge a key. You first person to forge 3 keys wins the game. There's no rebuttal, nothing like
life totals.
Yeah, first person forges 3 keys. That's it. Game over.
Yep. Best of 1, no sideboards, no nothing. Just like Final Fantasy, just 1 game.
Well, there's a lot of different formats listed.
Yeah, there's a ton of formats.
There is a format that's best of 3. And the
There's a format that's best of 3, but you use 3 decks.
I was gonna say you use different decks. Yeah. It's like I don't know if you've ever seen a Hearthstone tournament before, where you register decks from different classes. Like I'm gonna pick Druid, Warrior, and Priest.
And as soon as you lose with one of those decks, that deck is eliminated, and you have to pick another one.
And your opponent has to try and guess. Oh, I know he's got, because they know your 3 decks.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I know he's got this, this, and this. What one is he gonna use next? Because I might have a deck that I think is going to be good against that deck, you know.
And the one good thing about this too is you can't play your opponent. You can't play their deck or pick their deck, like, because you don't know what they have. They're just like, oh, I'm pulling this out, and that's it. Because there's 3 random houses.
Yep, and you're never gonna know what that deck is until after you play it, because every deck is unique.
Oh, the only thing you could probably, I mean, through playing, obviously, like if you play a lot, you're gonna know obviously what those factions are trying to do. You know what I mean? Like,
I already picked up some. Like I know Mars relies heavily on like cooperation with other Mars cards, like working with other Mars cards. Very faction heavy.
Robnar's got big dudes.
This is very destruction based.
Yeah.
Then there's this is very destruction. Shadows is mostly about like stealing and like doing a little more sneaking. Like sneaking around and stealing.
So you kind of know what the factions are up to. So when you look at a deck, you can say like, oh well, he's Shadow, Brobnar, Untamed, or something like that, you know. And you can be like, I think I know what that deck's trying to do. But even if you know what those factions do, you don't know what they're gonna.
You know what combinations he's gonna draw and play, and
so you can think he's trying to be a controlling deck because of those factions, but in reality, he's got the fastest cards in those factions. He's actually an aggro deck, you know, and
he can pick up all actions too, and just play all actions the whole game.
So you can try and meta against it just with knowledge, you know, kind of like.
I mean, like essentially, this game. The only way to get good at this game, well, not good at this game, but better is to learn how to play your deck more than playing your opponent. Because the more it's not about knowing your opponent and knowing anything else. It's about knowing your own deck and what you have, and try to keep that in the back of your head.
And
like
mastering what your deck can do.
Yeah, and each deck can do.
Yep, Richard Garfield said that every single deck is basically a puzzle waiting to be solved.
Yeah.
So the more you play with your deck and the more accustomed you get to using it, the more powerful the deck itself is going to be. Because you're going to see little combos.
I've seen combos in your deck you haven't used yet.
Which one? With this one?
There's one.
Steven?
With Steven.
I think one of my first decks I have is very Mars heavy, and that's probably I won like 3 games with that. I think 3 rounds. Well, not 3 games, 3 rounds with that, because it was just one top. It's one on top of the other, just playing off each other. Like one was the Mother Gun, where you get hit damage or amber, I think it was. I forgot.
You hit for damage equal to
Mars cards. You get damage equal to how many Mars cards. You don't have to play those Mars cards. You just reveal them.
So if you show your hand and you have 6 Mars cards in it.
I had 6. At the time, I had 6. So I would literally show them, play it, and then just play one, and then go again, and then hopefully draw another one. I drew 3 straight, so that was.
So you're just blasting stuff with your cannon every turn.
Destroyed all his stuff each time.
You can tell when people kind of know what their deck's trying to do. Like in the release event that the three of us were at. Pete still hasn't played. Oh, it'll be soon, Pete. I know. Look at him. He's all grimy.
I feel like we're about to get him addicted to drugs. Like, take this one hit. Gotcha.
He's fiending.
Yeah, it's just every card game.
Yeah, he's used to. He's been playing
just
Magic
gets
for 20 years, and I suck him in every game. But like, take for instance, what I was gonna say is, to his note of like every deck's a puzzle to be solved, or however you want to look at it. The first game I played, I won, but it went to time, and I just had the most keys forged, and didn't really know my deck.
It was you and me. Yeah, we played the first match. Was it
you and me?
Yeah, and we ran out of time.
And then the second match I played against Monk, and that's when I discovered what. Like my deck kind of does, and like half of the game I just rolled over him. Yeah. And then the third game, I knew what my deck was trying to do, and my opponent also knew what his deck was trying to do. So that was the most intense game because we were both kind of like, in the first or second round, we kind of discovered this is what our decks are gonna do.
Yeah.
So we're trying to be like outmaneuver each other because like I'm gonna try and set up this, and he's like I'm gonna try and set up this. Because so the third round was actually moderately long, but it was probably the craziest game that I had.
It also helps so that. Because of things like that, there is no like defined meta then,
Yeah.
Nothing necessarily is better than the other thing because every deck is different, so nothing is necessarily stronger than the other, except for maybe specific
when it came
cards.
down to my last game, we were me and I don't know the guy's I forgot the guy's name. Me and him came down, and everyone that was waiting
I think it
waiting
was you
was
and
just
Chuck.
watch what.
I think it was you and Chuck.
Maybe I honestly don't remember,
Bigger
but
guy.
everyone got to our game because everyone else that was left was watching our game because it was getting super competitive between me and him because we were getting to the point where
Yeah, your field had crazy permanence on it.
Like,
Crazy amounts of stuff.
we were just going back and forth, and it was hard for either of us to get ahead of each other. And it was actually the most competitive game I played out of all the games I've played so far. I played a decent amount. Played 3 with you, a couple with because we had the tournament, and we each played 3 people or 4.
We played 3 people.
We played 3 people each, and then I played a couple games I think with Monk, and then some games I played with Dan yesterday, and that game was still probably the most competitive game I played.
Yeah, the most competitive game I've played was the third round in that tournament for sure.
Yeah.
So, I think, it's funny that you say that about that meta too, Pete, because people are trying to put that rationale on this game,
And you can't. There's
and you
no
really
way.
can't. Like, if you go into the forums and stuff, everyone's talking about. We were talking about the Horseman decks. There's the 4 Horsemen, the Apocalypse, or the 4 Horsemen, whatever. They're in a faction called Sanctum, and they're powerful. I'm not going to say they're not powerful.
But then there's cards like I have. I forgot the name of it. I think it's a
But-
Mars card.
Mhm.
Or is it... No, it's this. We could destroy each creature. So I can literally just play
Oh, yeah.
that and wipe out...
Gateway to dis.
Yeah,
Yep.
destroy every creature. Like, I'll destroy my own, but I can destroy his too. So
Destroy
it's a
each
sacrifice.
creature, gain 3 chains.
And, once you learn about the Horsemen, or, like, once you know about, like I said, with playing enough, once you say, like, oh, I know these, because that's one of the reasons my third round was so hard, by the way, because I actually played against the 4 Horsemen. And, people were like, oh, they're like, obviously better. Like, it's just the best kind of basic combo in the game. And
But
it's just like,
they're
well, no,
not.
they're not.
No.
If the game
There's
is
no
so
real-
new that
there's
you
no-
don't really
and honestly,
know,
like,
like,
The way this game is played,
Logos is
I don't
definitely
think...
the most powerful faction.
I mean,
in
I
my
might be new to
opinion.
card games, so I might be a little more naive about it, but still, like, just playing off what we've been playing and seeing what's out there, there's no really best cards, because there's going to be something out there that could counter that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
It's-
there's 100% going to be a deck that's good against another deck.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
It's
but
like a rock paper scissors thing, but then it's rock paper scissors with like a gun, and then you keep adding and
a
everything
knife
just
and another thing
Yeah.
So there's gonna be a deck out there where you play and you're like, my deck is solid, it's so good, and then you get trounced. You'd be like, oh, that guy's deck is broken. Maybe his deck's not broken. Maybe his deck's just really good against your deck.
Yeah.
And then little Timmy down the street
like-
comes and plays his first game of Keyforge and just totally destroys you.
Stomps you. And that can happen. Because that's what's great about this game.
Then you go home and drink a whole bottle of Johnny Walker and cry.
Then you spend
Jameson.
Then you spend $10, you buy a whole other new deck, and you're like, wow, that was really cheap recovery.
And then you wait. And then you wait outside for little Jimmy, and you beat him up and take his deck.
Exactly. You
Maybe not that. That's a bit
I can't even
extreme.
add to it. All right. So one more thing that we're going to talk about is PAX. PAX Unplugged is
I'm super. This is gonna be my first gaming tournament.
well,
I'm
convention.
Convention, sorry. But I'm really excited for this because I was just looking at the list of each day, what's going on. And
I think you're gonna
it's not
have
even
a
just
great
like
time.
it's not just
Yeah.
advanced board games or like board games you never heard of for like more people for the non-gaming community. There's Clue tournaments, there's Sorry tournaments, there's
See, here's the thing.
Yeah, everything. It's everything.
This is the best part about PAX Unplugged for Matt. Matt joined the Meeple People after we got media passes, so
Yeah.
technically Matt isn't
He's
working
working.
over the weekend.
yeah,
So
so I
he's
get to
gonna
enjoy
be-
everything.
He's gonna be running around. He's gonna be like swords and sorcery.
That's actually funny that you brought that up because that was
Yeah.
like one of the first games we played at PAX last
Last year, yeah, it was good.
It
I
is
had-
very good. It's right there.
Yeah,
It's
still
right
haven't
on my-
played it again.
I still haven't played it yet, and that was bought at Gen Con a year,
Year
2
ago-
years ago.
2 years ago, because we had
No, it was
it was
Gen
Gen Con before that PAX.
I mean,
yeah, it
I
was
know
Gen Con a year. Yeah, it was a year ago because
It was
Yeah.
a year and a half now. About
yeah,
I
about
already signed up for an intro to D&D.
Welcome to the Dark Side.
Yeah, a Keyforge
that's my realm.
a Keyforge tournament, and Ticket to Ride tournament
Have you played Ticket to Ride before?
several times. I have it
All
on my
right,
phone.
don't
I
play it
played
with me and
him.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob and
No.
I'll tell the story whenever Ticket to Ride gets mentioned. Rob was a train away from connecting Los Angeles and New York, and I prevented that from happening.
It was really bad.
And I've never seen Rob angry. Well, I've seen Rob angry, but I've never seen him just absolutely furious. he just looked at me and just goes, "You know I'm gonna kill you, right?" And just had the most evil look in his eyes.
How about
It was almost like Gandalf when he yells at Bilbo for wanting to keep the ring and goes like, "You're trying to keep it for yourself." Bilbo Baggins, and the whole room got dark.
Or how about what's her name? When the one elf lady tries, she thinks about the power of the dark side of the ring, and she just
when Kate Blanche just went Super Saiyan in the woods.
That, but
one will know me.
No, how about
despair.
the time we were playing? It was me.
But it was like that. All right,
Like,
pause.
okay,
That
yeah.
scene, that voice was so weird. That her voice. Remember those voice boxes when we were a kid that would just
Distort your voice.
distort your voice? It was like a little megaphone that had like the different settings
Oh,
on
yeah.
it.
Right.
That's literally, I guarantee you, that's what Peter Jackson did with that. He just handed
He
it
just-
to Kate
he-
Blanchett. Like, say some things in here.
He went to like, cause it was what it came out. What year did it come out? He came out. He went to KB Toys at the time. Just like, but
And then she just turned like blue. It made no sense.
like, oh, okay,
Oh, all right.
yeah. But how
And
the
then
time went on.
Frodo's just like, I was just looking at this like bird feeder.
He's like,
It's like there's a bird bath. I'm like, oh,
he's
that's
like,
cool.
should we look at this water and then like.
Like Kate Blanche is
swim?
acting all weird in front of me.
So, what was that about? Huh?
But
So
then-
what,
losing it?
Gimli comes up. So what did she say to you? Huh? He's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Don't worry about
It's
it.
like I bet he had to go around like it was just like daddy hit mommy at the dinner table. Got to pretend it never happened. Like, oh God.
What did you see? It was fine. I saw
Nothing.
it was water.
I was looking at the bird bath.
But how the time
Apparently,
went
shouldn't
on,
do that anymore.
Yeah.
when Phil
Or
flipped the
too many
board on
drugs.
us because I blocked him. It was me,
Phil did
you.
flip a board on us.
It was me, you, Gilberta, and Conklin.
Yep.
And I blocked Phil just to be. I knew I was losing, so I blocked Phil just to be a dick. And he, fuck you.
For those of you who
right.
don't know who Gilberta and Conklin is, Conklin's a friend of ours, and Gilberta is dead.
So,
He was
Whoa.
he was a
Short
great
story.
friend of ours. I mean,
Short story.
yeah. He was probably one of.
Gilberta would have been a Meeple person if he was still
Definitely.
alive. Actual fact.
Gilberta would have been dead if he was still alive.
Take the ride.
He's
Just
like, that's not wrong.
This ticket to ride is the ticket to hell.
Wow. All right, well, I guess we're ending this
Wow.
podcast on a dark note.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, PAX Unplugged is gonna be. I think it's gonna be great. I think
It's going to be
Matt's
so much
correct.
better than...
Yeah, I think
Matt's
he's
going to
have a lot
have
of
the
fun.
best time. Matt's going to be like, this is why I'm in. This
in
is
my
why
mind.
I joined. This is why I joined the Meeple People.
I mean, when Chris went last year with us, he had the greatest time too.
Yep,
Like
it was
it's,
his
it's a
first
really
convention,
good
too.
first convention.
Just don't do what he did and disappear on us a year
Yeah.
later.
We think he's
Sarone?
doing fine. We think he's doing fine. We're
Sarone,
not sure.
if you're out there,
We miss you.
we
Come
want
back
your
to us.
love.
come back wherever you might be.
If the aliens have
he
you,
went-
let us know.
He disappeared into the Upside Down with Barb.
Oh, Barb. But Barb dead. Barb dead.
Barb yeah.
Barb dead. That was a good
Huh,
sentence
Barb.
you had there, friend.
Me speak-
Barb dead.
Me speak English well.
Yeah.
Me feel
like
English?
a-
That's impossible.
Small stroke. Barb dead.
we are trying to be professional, but
We are far
This
from
is
professional.
your first time. This is
We
the
think we've
most
gone-
professional I think we've ever been in a
We've
podcast.
gone off the deep end. This is
Normally that's why we try to have Joe here to just take us on the train
Yeah.
into insanity.
whenever
So we
whenever it
can-
gets too much. Joe says something and it just brings us back down to earth. But not happening today.
Joe
Normally he'll
is
just
not here.
then he'll just punch a rancor or something.
Joe just started his new job, so he's not with us tonight.
Yeah,
But
making good money. Can't hate him for it.
yeah, exactly.
Now
That
you can
being
pay
said,
me
all right.
back.
So to end this episode of the Meeple People podcast, Warhammer Champions, get on the hype train.
It's still good. Still
Keep-
there.
Keyforge, hype train's just getting started.
Play it. It's
And
it's
if
cheap. It's cheap
any of you
enough.
are gonna be at PAX, don't come up say hi, talk to
Yeah,
us.
please come up.
We'll all be there.
Talk to us.
Well,
We're
not all
gonna
of
be.
us.
Few of
most
us.
of us.
Most of us are going to be there. A few of us can't make it, unfortunately.
And if you don't know
It's just
any of us,
actually,
just come up to
it's
the ones you know, and
it's
we'll be like,
four-
that's the other
fi-
one.
Yeah.
The four of us plus Dan. That's it.
Yep. We will be wearing our NWO ripoff shirts over the weekend, please.
I
We'll
unfortunately
have
don't have
TMP.
one, so
No.
I'll just be drawing on a white T-shirt with a crayon.
That works.
Yeah,
Put
as
some
long as it's
paint on it.
TMP, you know.
Actually, you can probably borrow
Borrow
my
one of
girl-
Monk's.
my-
It'll fit.
No, you can borrow
Yeah.
Vienna's. Vienna has a size medium one.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Wait, you calling him small?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he wears smalls.
Listen, I have
Small's
not
a thing
worn
of
a
the
small
past.
since like before middle school.
Elementary.
So here, since no one's
Fun fact: I didn't break 100 pounds until I turned 22.
see, there you go, and he's like 1,000 now.
I broke
so-
100 pounds in 5th grade.
You,
That's about right.
and you also
fit-
broke a chair yesterday.
Yeah, I was a fit 111 pounds like sports addict in 6th grade, and I was a fit
Yeah.
111 pound
Until
kid.
until like I had a growth spurt at 22 because that's a normal thing apparently. Before my growth spurt
wish
I
had
was
growth spurt at
you know
22.
I was
I'd be
5'2", under 100 pounds.
So
at 21, and then at 22 you grew 8 inches.
Like overnight, like November 4th, just like overnight. I was like woke up like, oh my god, none of my clothes fit. I'm
he
done.
woke up and his shoes didn't fit.
It was like it was like a really
He
bad.
had to
It
buy
was
new
a really
socks.
shitty. It was like a dollar store version of Big.
His shoes just exploded in his feet.
We'll just remake Big.
Yeah, if you guys, most of you should know what me and Rob look like, but if you don't know what Matt looks like, man,
He looks nothing
he
like
just
us.
looks sad.
If you picture us, large bearded people,
he is the complete opposite.
He's a small, not bearded person.
He kind of looks like
A goblin.
someone that was like,
Damn.
Wow. Fucking fat Jesus over here.
say Jesus. Matt kind of looks like the orc that gets choked out during
Yeah, in the-
Fellowship
in-
of the Ring when the
In the 2 towers when they're running, and he's like, "I want some meat." That's him. He's that one.
he looks
The one
he
that
goes
gets stepped
no
on by Treebeard in the
no
forest.
no he is that one but not at that part. He's like they don't need their legs.
Eggs.
They look
Yeah,
tasty.
Yeah, that's
If you want to know, if Matt had
Honestly.
long hair and if he was balding, that's what he would look
I mean,
like.
the best description of me was what someone called a couple of years ago was Linguini from Ratatouille.
Oh my god! No, he's not that one. He's
pretty good, actually.
He's the one that has the really bad nasal congestion. It's like,
the legs. Comes up from the side. You're like, who's that guy?
what can we gonna eat? He just has a lisp and a nasal congestion. It's like one of Token's mistakes.
Like, I thought I erased him, but he's still there.
Damn it!
And,
They
how
are
do we
not for eating.
how do we describe Pete?
I thought we were going with just a fusion between.
No,
Yeah.
Pete's just a fusion between me and Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pete is,
just less of a
Pete is-
beard.
Pete is a real life live action figure of Peter Griffin.
That's about right too.
Just a little bit of a beard.
Yeah, he's got a little beard. He's tried hard for that beard, by the way, Matt. You haven't known it very long.
Struggle is real.
That's a 4-year beard. That's a life goal level.
Yeah, most
beard.
people have a 5 o'clock shadow. I have a 5-year shadow.
Yeah, Matt's like 400 and can't grow facial hair.
Worst
Yeah.
wizard ever.
Elf. He's
Yeah, he's an elf. Yeah.
He's an elf.
That makes
Ale.
sense.
I don't age. Can't grow facial hair.
Yeah, you still look the same as when you were 14.
Well, yeah. Well, all right. So, all right, we're gonna be 100% honest right now. Matt just turned 35, and he gets carded all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known you for 10 years, over 10 years.
Over
now.
10 years, and I've never been carded, and
Yeah.
you always have been.
I was last time I was carded, I was 22 or 23.
You were born.
Yeah. I was 22 or 23, and I looked similar to how I look now. Just the beard wasn't quite this long, and I was going to the movies, and they're like, "Can I see your ID?" And I was like, "For what?" I forgot what it was. I was like, "Was it 300?" No, it wasn't. I forget what it was. Something like
Some
that.
weird movie.
Sin City, maybe. I don't know. And I was just like, "What?" And they're like, "Can I see your ID?" So I gave her my license, and she's looking for the date on my license. And there's this guy in a suit behind her because there's a huge movie opening.
Yeah.
To make sure the line goes, and he's looking at her like, what is she looking at? And I was like, oh, I don't know, I have no idea. Like, she has my driver's license. And he like walks up to her, takes it out of her hand, and gives it back to me. He's like, you can go in. And he looks at her like, what are you doing?
That's something the best is I got carded at a movie one time, and a lady sees my last name, Barone. She's like, Barone, like like Ray Barone from Everyone Loves Raymond? I'm like, yeah, it's just like this. She goes, are you related? I'm like, I looked at her like more confused. I'm like, are you asking me if I'm related to a fictional character? She's like, yeah. I'm like, actually, yeah, I am. He's my father. Have you seen him? He's supposed to pick me up 2 hours ago.
People have asked me. I'm not joking because my last name is Smith. People have asked me if I'm related to Will Smith. And I'm like,
I see the resemblance.
I was like, that's not how that works at all. Like, that's
yes, in West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Playgrounds where I spent most of my days. How did you know?
At West Belvadelphia.
Yeah. West Belvadelphia. All right, I think it's
my
time.
My father's been carded. Did I ever tell you that?
Hold on, we're gonna end. All right, so pause. We're gonna end with this story, but no one knows what your dad looks like. He is literally George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, with more beard.
That's all right. So picture this: Rob's gonna tell the story, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
We were at a Longhorn Steakhouse.
Very good.
Because it's a good steakhouse.
Because it's better than Outback.
Yeah, and they're right next door, which is the most hilarious thing. So we're at the Longhorn Steakhouse, and he comes up, and it's his birthday, so he's like, you know what? Because he doesn't drink normally. He's like, I'm gonna get a glass or something. We're like, okay, you're old enough to be
badass.
the father of my father. But
we just said you're old enough to be the father of my father.
Yeah, it's true.
That makes sense. And you give me shit for Barb Dead. Shut up,
Barb Dead.
All of us failed English, just so you know.
I mean, he had me when they were older, but yeah. So he's got a gray beard, gray ponytail hair. He's balding on top, and he talks that really slow. He's from Wyoming, so he talks like that slow, deep voice.
He's one of the 13 people that live in that state.
Yeah.
Now only 12.
He moved out. Now there's 12, and they're all other Smiths. And yeah, so the woman. So he's like, I'm gonna get. I forget what he gets. He gets some type of.
I'm gonna get a Babe Ruth.
I'm gonna get it.
Sea breeze.
I'm gonna get sex on a beach. Oh, Dad!
I'm gonna get a Shirley Temple.
If you're picturing my dad correctly, you're like, the fuck? So he gets, I don't know, like some I don't remember what he gets. Some like mixed thing.
Well, usually mixed drinks are mixed things.
Yeah,
So.
no, I mean like like some Jack and Coke or something. I don't remember. And she's like, okay, can I see your ID? And he's like, what? She's like, I just need to see your ID. And he's like, okay. So he takes it out and gives it to her. And then she like has to take it and go somewhere and then come back and gives it back to him. And he's like, can I ask you like what that was for? Like why? She's like, oh, it's just policy that we check your ID. And he's like, no, I get it. It's still a little strange because I'm almost 70. Like,
does she not realize that
I'm almost 70?
He's probably old enough to be everybody's father in that place.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he
actually fathered everyone here.
Yeah, he is the patriarch of Outback.
Oh no, he's the patriarch of America.
Yeah,
he birthed us all.
Oh yeah, of Longhorn.
All right.
So, but it was just funny. It was just like he was sitting there and he's just laughing. He was like, I don't understand. What is this about?
All right. So that being said, hopefully we'll see some of you guys at PAX Unplugged next week. Once again, check out Warhammer Champions. Check out Keyforge.
Check out Kickstarters. Check out
Kickstarters. Valhalla. Fireball Island. Reichbusters. Check out Reichbusters.
Sorry.
It just came out today on Kickstarter.
It'd be interesting in watching us play Drunk Quest.
Would you be interested in watching us play Drunk Quest? Leave a comment. Tell us.
If you don't know what Drunk Quest is, it's a card-based game that you really have to make your opponents drink lots of alcohol.
You have to drink to defeat monsters. It's drunk D&D. It is hysterical, and we're more than likely going to be shooting a video soon for it. We only have about 30 seconds left, so put in your final comments. Go.
All right. Thanks. Games. It was nice meeting everyone. Yeah. I'm happy to be part of Meeple People, and like I said, I'll be roaming free at PAX in Philly, so come see me.
So if somebody says something wrong online, yell at him.
Yep, Pete. Yeah, 15 seconds. What do you want to say?
I'm Pete. You're probably not going to see me too much, but I'll try to make my best comments in the background.
Yeah, he's if the camera work is bad, yell at him.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.